Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jimmy and this is Sanne, my girlfriend. We are both hurdy-gurdy players and we also have fine grapefruit juice and what was it again?
Salty dogs. Because we're hurdy-gurdy players.
Yes, we are salty.
And
we are
we
not
have
dogs. We have dogs.
We have dogs.
And a cat.
And a cat, which we just wandered out of the frame.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are here to talk about this thing. Or at least he's going to be the talking. I am the bearer of notes and the drinker of
Drinks.
drinks.
This is nice. Anyway,
What are you holding?
this is a hurdy-gurdy by Mihály Vrábel. He is a Hungarian hurdy-gurdy maker. And some of you might know that I have made a short video about an earlier hurdy-gurdy by Vrábel. And honestly, I was not impressed by the quality of the instrument.
That was not good.
No, it wasn't good and it had many quality issues. If you want to know about the instrument, just have a look at my earlier video on my channel. Anyway, the maker saw my video online and he contacted me about trying a modern instrument or a most recent instrument that he has built, because he told me the quality of his instruments have improved over time and he wanted me to try one of his instruments. So of course I agreed, and Mihály Vrábel was very kind to send me one of his latest instruments. This one he sent to me was built in the beginning of this year, 2024, and making a video about this instrument. And
It is big.
it's really big.
It's a chunk. It came in the world's biggest box.
And also a big thank you to Mihály Vrábel for sending me this instrument, which is very kind of him.
Cheers. So what was the name of the model?
The name of the model, according to his website, is the Galician model. As far as I know, there is no place called Galicia in Hungary, but probably the name was given because of the shape of the body and the headstock, which sort of resembles the traditional Galician models, but to me it looks far more like most Hungarian hurdy-gurdies, and that is what it is, I believe.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah. This instrument has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strings. It has 2 chanters, 2 melody strings. They are both tuned to E in unison, so they are playing the same note. The trumpet string, which makes the buzzing sound, is tuned to A. The metal wound drone is tuned to A also, and there's another drone that can be either tuned to E or A. I'm not sure if it works well on both tunings, but I didn't really test that string. Either way, the tuning is typical for Hungarian instruments and not really the same as the hurdy-gurdies that you see in the west of Europe, which are mainly based on the French type of hurdy-gurdies, and they're tuned to either G or D, which are 2 regional tunings from France. And most of those instruments follow one of those tuning systems. So the E and A tuning is not something that you see in the west of Europe often. Lekker grapefruit.
Which is objectively the best fruit.
Yes,
It's a fact.
it's a fact. Most hurdy-gurdy players like grapefruit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either way, let's have a look at the keyboard of this instrument, which is one of the important parts of any hurdy-gurdy. The keyboard has 2 octaves. The bottom row does the regular notes and the top row plays the accidentals, like most hurdy-gurdies that we see in everywhere. There's a nice lock on the lid. Inside you can see the keys. The keys are made from solid wood, and the tensions are also made from solid wood, which are just press fit into the keys. So no screws, no bolts or anything, just a regular press fit, and you can easily move them and take them out and put them in again.
I think you said they are a lot better, because I
Yes.
remember you told me about that other one that you could basically twist them a lot. So.
Yes, that was one of the problems with the older Vrábel hurdy-gurdy. The holes for the key slides were some of them were really big, and some of the keys you could even you could almost rotate them in their slots, which is not good. The
Yes.
holes and the keys should be a narrow fit, but they should also be moving freely.
Yeah, and these weren't when it came in.
When this instrument came in, some of the keys were sticking, and that was not because of the moisture, which is often the case, but on this instrument the keys were not finished properly, at least the sliding parts. They were just raw wood without any finish, and something I did was to take off all the tensions, take out all of the keys, and sanded the key slides with a fine grit sandpaper, like grit 800 or 1000, and then applied furniture wax on the key slides, which makes the keys slide much better.
Yeah.
And as you can see, everything works really well. So it's just a little bit, it's a little extra that should be done by the maker. This is something I contacted the maker about. He thought it was a good idea to try out. So hopefully the newer instruments will have even better keys than this one. But I must say this keyboard is much better than the older one.
Yeah, I do think one thing I just can't get over with this one are the key heads.
Yeah.
This is rough. I mean, you can basically, yeah, it's just, I kind of wish you would just have spent 30 extra minutes on that.
There's a lot of paint on some parts, and other parts are not furnished well. You can see some
very irregular.
You can see some scrape marks. It's okay for playing, but it can be a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
There's a good thing is that there is a somewhat movable top knot on the strings, both center strings. It helps with the intonation if you have any problems with it. That is something you don't see with every hurdy-gurdy.
But it should be.
Yeah, but it should be, and it's there. And the setup was good from the start. Another very important part of the hurdy-gurdy is the wheel, and it should be perfectly round in order to get a nice and steady tone. On the older Vrábel hurdy-gurdy there was a bit of a problem because it was not very even, and there was also a problem with the axle. The axle runs between the crank and the wheel, and it had a lot of play. And on this new Vrábel hurdy-gurdy. The wheel is perfectly round, there's no damage or scratches on the surface, and there's no play whatsoever on the axle.
We have nothing to complain about the wheel.
No, everything is fine.
The crank is interesting.
The crank is very interesting because the crank is a bit shorter.
Small crank.
And of course it can
Small crank on a
unwind.
chunky gurdy.
It's only screwed on like most hurdy-gurdies.
So that is the crank of my hurdy-gurdy.
Let's see.
With Hungarian hurdy-gurdies, they have a slightly shorter crank, and when we say slightly, I mean about a centimeter. But trust me, with cranks you will feel every millimeter. So that is something to keep in the back of your mind.
Another thing is the size of the knob, and this is also very important because the way you hold the knob helps with creating the rhythmical buzzing. And on this instrument it works, but when you have small hands you might have a bit of a problem.
Yeah, it's I have tiny hands.
Yeah,
it's
too
way
small.
too big for
It's
me.
too big for you.
Yeah.
There's also a bit of wiggle
Yeah.
inside, but I think that is easily fixed probably. Let's screw it on again. So what's next?
Strings.
The strings. This instrument has 5 strings,
2 of them happen to be blue.
which is nice.
It's definitely nice. We have no idea why they are blue.
No, and we have never seen these kind of strings before. And up close it looks like they're twisted, but they're also artificial, so no gut strings or no metal strings.
Our best guess is that these are record strings.
Tennis record strings.
Tennis record strings, which is fine. It works. On certain gurdies it definitely works. So
I could be wrong about that, but that is what I think. The same goes for the trumpet string and the lower drone string. The only exception is the top drone string, which has a copper winding to make it heavier.
yeah.
So we don't really know about these strings, but they work well on this instrument, and I think they are very durable.
Yeah.
So not as delicate as gut strings.
What I have.
Yeah, exactly.
So we should probably take another sip and talk about the dog.
Yeah. We have salty dogs.
So it's time to talk about the dog.
Let's talk about the dog. We also have a cat, but I don't know where he is.
He's gone. The dog.
The dog.
It's big.
It's big.
It's a chunky dog.
And it is not something that you see on most Western European hurdy-gurdies, because this dog has very different dimensions when compared to the French model hurdy-gurdy dog.
I think it's about 4 times the size.
If a normal dog is like this is like a dachshund, which is like an extended dog. You can buy them by the meter. This one is about 3 times the length of a regular dog, but because this is a Hungarian instrument, the system is a bit different, and normally you'll see a wedge somewhere shoved underneath the tailpiece.
Yeah.
But this instrument has a typical French style tirant. It works well.
And it is loud.
Yeah, it's very loud.
It's loud.
Shall I play it?
Yeah. basically, if you're in a workshop with this, you're going to drown out everyone.
Yep.
So.
So let's have a look at the tuning pegs on this instrument. Let's put on the wheel cover for a bit. The tuning pegs are like huge on this instrument. They are as big as the crank, and you can easily grab the tuning pegs with your whole hand instead of in between two fingers like on a regular violin or one of the French styled hurdy-gurdies like Sanne is holding here. And
look at them together.
yeah,
it's
just compare the size of the two.
Now this is a very compact instrument that I have.
I think it's mostly this part where the tuning pegs are, which is really big.
Yeah, that adds a lot of length, but it's also the body.
Yeah.
but the tuning pegs are just like funny comparison.
The tuning pegs are huge, and they're sitting in this open frame like a gamba or a violin or some guitars.
Oh, Zanfona?
Yeah, or a Zanfona, so Galician. So maybe it's a bit Galician, or not? Is it?
Maybe a little bit.
Either way.
We have just explained the name.
These tuning pegs are of the very simple friction type. So they are the shape is tapered, and this hole is slightly larger than this hole. It should fit really well. On this instrument, the holes are a bit too big on this side. You can see there's some space left. So these work well because you can grab the knob easily. They are really big, but a bit of extra work on the holes will make them work much better. So a bit more attention to those things will definitely help.
Yeah.
Boink.
Boink. I'm shuffling the notes. Finish. The next. Oh, taking another sip. Okay.
Grapefruit.
Grapefruit, the best fruit.
The next thing I would like to say a few things about is the overall finish of the instrument, especially the varnish. Personally, I really like the color of this instrument. It's a nice dark reddish brown.
Color is good.
Yeah, I like it. However, the application of the varnish is a bit uneven, so it's not
less good.
Yeah, it's not as good as I would like to see it on an instrument. There's a big layer of varnish with a few bubbles on the tailpiece. On the inside of the keyboard lid, there is
It's little drips, little bare spots everywhere. It's basically the same thing as I said about the keyboard.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I would have spent 30 extra minutes on it. And similarly, there are like these smears almost, where like traces of wiping on the belly, which kind of makes the instrument seem not new.
These are about 700 euros?
I think they're in the 600-700 euro range.
Well, of course, it's not an expensive hurdy-gurdy.
No, but
when we're talking
it's still
about
a lot of
hurdy-gurdies.
money.
Yeah, the application of the varnish to be a bit more even without any stripes or things. But anyway,
it's good, just like
the
a
colors,
little extra time.
This is not the only hurdy-gurdy that has a bit of rough application on the inside of the lid. I've seen several hurdy-gurdies where this happens, but still.
Very good.
Yeah.
Next
I like the
bit.
I like the color.
Colors, yeah, the color is nice.
So, what do we think about this instrument?
It's better.
It's much better than the older Vrábel hurdy-gurdy. It's a very big improvement. However, there are a few things like the keys. That is something we already talked about. The keys are finished in a rough way, and it was just bare wood. Just a few extra minutes of sanding the keys and putting on a coat of furniture wax to make them slide, and that's what I did on this instrument, and it's much better. But the maker already agreed to do that, so I'm happy to hear that, and I would love to see one of the newer instruments. As this instrument is a Hungarian instrument, it might not be the right choice for those who are planning to take lessons or go to workshops or to play with Western European folk sessions, such as the French traditional hurdy-gurdy music. Because of the tuning, mostly this instrument is tuned to what was it again?
This is E and A.
That is not really going to work well with most of the Western European traditional music. And also, if you're going to play together with those kind of instruments, this hurdy-gurdy is much louder than the other instruments.
Yeah.
So you'll easily be drowning out the other instruments. But this instrument can be very interesting for people who are going to play Hungarian music. This could be a very nice beginner instrument for those, or people who are going to play outside, busking on the streets, and also people who are going to play together with other loud instruments.
I think the busking one is really interesting because it seems, honestly, it seems indestructible.
That's true. I think you can even stand on it and it won't budge. I'm not going to do that because it's a musical instrument, and but I think this one can take a hit, so it's not very delicate. I don't think it will be harmed if it starts raining or...
It can take a little bit of rain, a little bit of smoke, fire or something.
And this instrument will work well, I think, when played together with drums and those loud bagpipes in tunes in A.
Yeah.
And also for people who are going to do fantasy style music like pirate stuff, which is very popular, and other kind of things.
I do think it is not easy to make this hurdy-gurdy sound good.
Yep.
So I would not recommend it as a first instrument, especially if you don't have any guidance. Like if you are not taking any lessons or anything, then it's going to be a little bit hard to work with this one. There are hurdy-gurdies on the market that are a bit easier to work with than this one.
But I think if you're not going to do that kind of things and just want to go play outside or do Hungarian music, and if you're okay with messing with the instrument and doing a few fixes, I think this could be a very nice choice for the money.
Yeah, yeah.
This instrument is not as refined as some other hurdy-gurdies that you see around. it is the overall finish and also the sound of the hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah.
It is more rustic and it's also very loud and it has a certain edge on the sound. It reminds me a bit of the, what was it called again?
Godalira.
The Godalira, the Swedish, correct?
Yeah.
Hurdy-gurdy. It's a bit similar. There's a scene for that kind of instruments too.
Definitely, if you're into the piratey stuff, then this totally might be your vibe.
I'm starting to like the sound, and I'm going to experiment with it a lot more. We should use this instrument gigs on the streets, maybe.
Yeah, I think that would be fun, especially also with bagpipes.
Yeah,
that would be good.
So thank you for watching this video. Two awkward hurdy-gurdy minded people
with salty dogs.
Salty dogs.
It's almost gone.
And hurdy-gurdies.
And the hurdy-gurdies, several of them.
It's almost gone.
Pity.
Can you hold this?
Yeah. Are we getting more?
More grapefruit.
Which, as we pointed out, is the best fruit. So,
Thanks for watching.
I was just going to say, can we wrap this up with a neat little bow, but I think we just did. Bye.